Great. Okay. Sound speed rolling.
All right, so you hit the bye week. I see the players will be gathered here for a couple days. This will this be important? These couple days.
Yeah, it's going to be about us. We're going to take a look at us as a team, as each phase, as a position room, as individuals. Just get some feedback on what we're doing well, where we're falling a little bit short, what we can do better here for the next 3 quarters of the season, and it'll give us a good time to get our bodies right, get our minds right. It's going to be a long back half of the season with where this bye week is located, but it actually works out well for our team right now because I think we're going to have a lot of clarity as a coaching staff schematically where we want to go, and then physically we've been dinged up a little bit here early in the season, and I think we'll be able to get some reinforcements back here real soon. And so I think this will be a great little stretch for us. The interesting part about I don't know if I've been hitting a bye week and then a Monday night game after, so it's actually even longer than normal. So there is such a thing as taking too much time off, but we do need to get away from football for a little bit. I think everybody does. We've put a lot into it here through training camp in these first 4 weeks that we're going to need to be fresh going in this back half.
It's bye week, baby, which means it's time to I don't know why that made me laugh so much. That's so funny. It is bye week, baby, which means it's time to recharge, reset, and figure out how to establish a run game. 4 games into the season, and it already feels like the Bears have lived multiple lives. As Ben Johnson said early this year, it would take up until the bye week to figure out the identity of this team. So, what have we learned about the Bears these past few weeks?
That's interesting the way you put it there is like it feels like an entire Bears season in 4 games. We've got high highs, low lows, just everything, right?
Yeah.
Stupid plays, miraculous plays. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're fire everybody. We had it all in 4 games. And I think what you heard Ben Johnson say there was pretty measured, right? In terms of we'll use this. We've got some good clarity as a coaching staff, right? The bye came at a good time. When we were looking at the schedule early, it was like, oh man, that early bye week, not a huge fan, right? Because it's a long then 3 quarters of the season. But man, the Bears really kind of needed it. They started the season with several key defensive players not able to go, right? And Jalen's still not able to go. But the thought is, okay, bye came at a good time. You got TJ Edwards and Kyler Gordon hopefully coming back, Austin Booker hopefully coming back. That's huge for the defense. All 3 levels, right? D line, linebacker, secondary. You get 3 starters back. Well, Austin's not really a starter, but he's shown the most juice, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So getting those guys back, and then schematically, right? They're kind of at a weird spot with the offensive line a little bit. They made some changes in that Raiders game, and I thought Ozzie played really well at right tackle. And so what are you gonna do with him there? Darnell Wright is obviously the starter when he comes back. Now, will he be back after the bye week? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what his injury looks like, but what do you do at left tackle now? Braxton seems to have fallen out of favor. Theo Benedict, we call him Eggs Benedict over on Tap Sportsnet. So um, Eggs came in, did a great job. Not a great job, but he did a serviceable job. Did the offensive line looked better when he was in there? Is he the guy that's going to take over left tackle now? They have to figure this out, and I'm sure they've been getting reps using the bye week to do some of that. So I think it did come at a good time. The arrow's kind of pointing up. They've got a big game Monday night against Washington afterwards. So Jaden Daniels is back. I think it's a game that a lot of Bears fans have circled. So
Mm.
yeah, pretty exciting. I think we learned about the Bears is they're gonna Bears, they're gonna rip your heart out, and they're also gonna make you feel super excited. And I feel like the second, the next 3 quarters of the season is gonna be just like that.
Yeah, it has been an exhausting uh 4 games, and that's just doing this and watching and leading
Hmm.
up the ups and downs, the emotions, it makes me think of Dustin's first sort of the for the first game of the season, how sad he was to Matthias's emotion or Lone Star Daddy's emotionless, like feeling to like wherever we're at now, which is like riding kind of high, or in game three, and then last one was like, all right, we look okay and we won, and that was a little crazy. And yeah, it's been a intense couple games. Um,
But you do feel better about it, them going winning the last two, right? Than if they were 2-2, but they won the first two and lost the last two. I mean, I guess the two division wins, you probably would have taken those, to be honest. But like they're trend. I guess my point is they're trending in a more positive direction.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And one of the I'm going to be going to one of the I'm going to the Ravens
Hmm.
game in a couple weeks, but the circling of the Washington game, that is something we had considered, and it just didn't work out schedule wise. But I mean, that was kind of where the season turned last
Oh
year, and
yeah.
Jaden's the guy, and then we made the wrong
Yep.
decision with drafting Caleb and all that shit that plays in, and yeah, I was actually thinking about. So what I was trying to find when we were trying to look for the Ben Johnson clip of like him talking about searching for the identity, these clips started rolling through of like Detroit laughing at us again, and it just got me thinking as we were thinking kind of down the
Mhm.
season of like it's kind of nice we went. I'm forgetting when we played them, but hopefully we'll be coming in with a little bit more sort of structure and calm and like yeah,
I
just
think so. I think the coaching staff, look, is worlds better than what we had last year, right? Last year, I feel like they didn't really know what they were doing and they were just kind of hoping to see what worked and then be like, yeah, this worked. Let's roll with that. Whereas Ben Johnson's like, this is what I want, right? We have to keep working at it until we get there. I know what I want. We just have to get the team there, right? And so I think having that extra bye week of practice will help the offense for sure. We did put a poll up on Bears on Tap. It said, with the Bears off today, which area do you think needs the most improvement coming out of the bye week? Now, the options I put on there were pass rush, run defense, run offense, and other. And it's actually very close. So pass rush was at 36.5%, run defense was at 40, and run offense was at 22. And 1% was at other. So it's like 36, 40, 22, with run defense being the 40%. So a lot of Bears fans feel like we really got to work on that defensive line, right? Because pass
yeah,
rush and run defense were the two biggest question marks. And I don't disagree, right? I think I put pass rush when I voted just because I feel like you have to be able to get to the quarterback. But the run defense, I mean, I think the Bears are dead last in like yards per carry. I mean, a lot of it is the Ashton Genty game, and he just absolutely went off. But
yeah,
they got to fix that. And they're not getting any horses back for that. I'll tell you that, right? Like the guys we got are the guys we got.
mm,
Austin Booker is going to come back, but he's a smaller edge. That's not your pass. That's not your run defense guy, right? That's your get to the quarterback guy. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe TJ Edwards gives them a spark, even though, how much of an upgrade is he over Noah Sewell in the run game? I thought Noah played pretty well when he
yeah,
was
he's
in
pretty
there.
good. Yeah,
So they're going to have to figure out how to stop these running backs. Now, coming out of the bye, they get Washington, who doesn't have a great run game, right? Saints, Kamara's still dangerous, right? I mean, he's kind of elusive. Then you get Derrick Henry and Chase Brown, who are pretty good backs. So they're gonna have to deal with that. Now, on the flip side, they might get some really bad quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels obviously is a great quarterback. That's gonna be a tough game. But Spencer Rattler, Cooper Rush, Jake Browning, Jackson Dart, very winnable games
yeah,
for the Bears coming up.
yeah.
So
The
I think if they can get some stuff cleaned up during the bye week, they have a chance to to take advantage of a soft part of their schedule that wasn't originally going to be soft when you first looked at it.
yeah. When you're thinking of like kind of things that can be fixed and where improvements can be made instantly and where there isn't really an immediate fix, like where does your priority list stand? I know we talked about, maybe there isn't much coming in the way of run defense, but if we look at like, does offensive line change, shift how they run?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
like
things they can do schematically for
yeah,
sure, moving pieces around and the run game too, right? Right now, I know they're kind of committed to Swift, but we haven't really seen a ton of Kyle. We haven't seen any of Roshan. And then do they make a trade, right? Poles has been very quiet about acquiring players, and he usually is, right? Usually you'll be like, oh, we traded for what? Who? Sometimes you might not see it coming. Now the running back market has dried up a little bit. Rico Dowdle was on that list. Brees Hall was on that list, but those teams suffered injuries to other running backs, and now they need to rely on those guys. So probably not willing to part with them as much. So, maybe are those guys available? The Saints were looking like they're going to fire sale the team, but now they won today. Maybe the vibes are good. Maybe they're not going to sell people off. So I don't know. I don't know what the market looks like for an edge rusher or a defensive tackle or a running back. So I feel like they're going to have to get creative scheme wise.
Yeah.
And you can do that with the running game. You can do that generating a pass rush because you can always blitz. But man, run defense, you just got to win your gaps and you just got to play sound and tackle. There's not much you can do there with the horses that you have.
Yeah, yeah, there seems to be like Montez Sweat presence that maybe needs to, and I don't really know how you do presence, but I feel like we just haven't talked about him much. And
I know.
like,
It's sad.
even like Max Crosby really didn't have that many sacks, but it was very clear he was like present. And I just,
Oh, yeah. You called his name. You had to know where he was because he was
yeah,
wreaking havoc. Montez Sweat does not wreak any havoc. I don't even know what he's doing half the
yeah,
time. He just gets swallowed up and then the play's over.
yeah. And I
They need
guess,
more out of him.
yeah, and I wonder if with some of the other guys coming back, that's just more people you have to be like looking out for, and you can bring them in and rush, and maybe that shift stuff. And yeah, and it does. I
It,
mean,
it,
go ahead. Sorry.
it could help because Austin Booker is another pass rusher that can, keep Montez's legs fresh. Kyler Gordon is one of the best blitzing nickel cornerbacks in the league. So now he's going to apply pressure on random packages, right? That could free up Montez Sweat, get him going. So Dennis Allen, and he's been pretty good so far. I know we got carved up, we got absolutely owned by the Lions, and J&T really carved us up. But Dennis Allen he's been doing good work with the pieces that he has, right? He's been dealt a tough hand early. So I'm interested to see how he utilizes some of these players coming back. And then, Jalen not really going on the IR, he's supposed to come back in, I don't know, a month or something like that from this groin injury. We'll see what that looks like. But if he comes back, that's a huge boost for this offense, for this defense. And if he doesn't come back, I don't know. Maybe Poles get somebody in a trade,
Yeah.
to try to help bolster that secondary as well.
What just struck me as we've been talking is maybe this is the first time we've gone this long without talking about what maybe Caleb needs to do. And I know that there's like a lot of room and stuff, but I think
Yeah.
in some way sort of like subconsciously maybe speaks to his development and growth. And not that I don't know if we didn't trust him, but like there's this like we've spent a lot of time talking about other people and
Yeah, that's true.
50 was it episode 59, and I would say like 58 episodes were for the Caleb focus. So it's kind of interesting because it's like I think he's progressing and I feel like they're working in good directions and Ben Johnson's got it kind of on lock.
Well, you had that stat, right? You put in the notes, the 28 to 8 touchdown interception ratio is the best ever by a number one overall pick in like their first 20 starts or something like that. So he's trending in the right direction. Now, does he hold on to the ball too long still? Yes, but he's not taking as many sacks, not nearly as many sacks as before. I actually did an article, and we'll link it here to the pod, about the 2025 Bears and the 2024 Bears after the first 4 games, just by the numbers. How different are they? And you'll see like offensively, the numbers are a lot better through the first 4 games than the 2024. Just looking at like QB numbers, rushing numbers, things like that. Now the defense is actually worse, which is to be expected, right? You had a head coach that was a defensive guy. You didn't have nearly the injuries, right? So probably to be expected, but it's an interesting read. I would take a look at it and you'll see like Caleb is playing a lot better. He's like the sacks are a lot better. The offensive line's a lot better. His time to throw though is still long. I think it's like he's got the third longest time or something like that. Top 5. So he's still not totally like playing on time all the time. I think something that's gradually getting better, and I think you'll see him improve on it. But yeah, no, I think Caleb is not one of the concerns on this team right now.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've been watching just a lot of like different game like post game breakdown tapes of
Hmm.
all things QB, and the gentleman's been talking about, and sorry, we were talking about it before and I've forgotten his name. What is his
Tim
name?
Jenkins.
Tim Jenkins. He's talking about Caleb doing like right when he puts his back foot down is like ready for the throw. Like there's just a lot more like an authoritativeness and just
Oh
like
yeah,
staying in the pocket that is just it's like getting better each game. He's like trusting his reads. It's been cool to watch that. Like,
man, that piss missile he threw to Rome on the Raiders touchdown. Oh man,
yeah,
that thing was a rocket. It
yeah.
was a rocket.
The interesting thing about the defense too is just the conundrum that the defense is. They're like the worst run defense. They have the best third down defense. Their last two
Yeah.
games, it's been 8 takeaways. So they're like, are they good or bad? Like what the fuck? Like what are they?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it's
crazy. And you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to show up. It's hard to win in the league if you rely on turnovers to be successful, right? You
mm,
have to be able to get off the field on third down, which they're good at. Turnovers have been pretty good, but man, that run defense really needs to improve because if teams just can just keep you off, keep your offense off the field, you can't score points. So that's something that's going to have to be addressed, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it exactly.
yeah. So Andrew Billings last year was like one of their bigger like run stopper gentlemen, and then he got hurt, and that's kind of where the defense sort of like crumbled. Have you noticed sort of his presence impacting
Yeah,
stuff?
he had a good tackle for loss during the Raiders game, but yeah, he has not been a good fit in this Dennis Allen defense. And actually, Q, when we had him on, thought he could be a cut candidate, just because he didn't really fit. Now he is a big monster up the middle, but for whatever reason, we haven't had a ton of success. Because
Mm,
I mean, he played that whole Raiders game, and JT just like you know just dominated us. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's not gelling with Billings
yeah, interesting.
or
Okay, so
Dexter for that matter too.
yeah. Okay, so as we kind of close out this episode, I have two questions for you. One is, uh, what are you kind of hoping to see? Oh, and then maybe it's like the next 4 games, then the next 4 after that, or whatever your kind of block is. And then the sort of question to kind of close all that is, how would you define the identity of the Bears up until sort of now?
Those are two really good questions. So I'm gonna do the identity first. I think the identity right now is a team that is still figuring themselves out. I think they are getting better offensively. I don't think that they are as disciplined and focused as Ben needs them to be right now. I think Ben wants the identity of the team to be crisp, disciplined execution. And I don't think that they're there, right? We have a lot of pre-snap penalties ahead of time. It's a little sloppy still. So that's the identity I think he wants to get to. We're not there. I mean, and maybe the bye week certainly helps that. And so what do I want to see? I want to see him get to that identity, right? I want to see him be like, hey, they have 3rd and 6. We got to pass it. We need this first down. The defense knows we're going to pass it, but we're going to execute it better than them, and we're going to get the first down.
Mm,
Because this team is locked in, and everybody knows what they're supposed to do and where they're supposed to be. That's what I want to see. That's how you win in the league, and I think that's where Ben wants to get to. We're just not quite there yet.
yeah.
Cole Kmet had like the worst game of his life last time with a bunch of false starts and drops, and we had other false starts and penalties. So Caleb's still dirt and passes. That like you're just like, wow, he didn't get enough on that, which is weird because you've got a cannon for an arm. So what happened there? So I think that's where Ben wants to get to, is a team that's clean, disciplined, and executes
Yeah.
what they're supposed to. And that's what I'd like to see coming out. The
Yeah.
improvement in all 3 of those items.
Yeah. And I assume from defensive end, it's just like stop the run, get a little bit of
Yeah,
pressure.
I think the defensive end, we need more sacks.
Yeah.
They only have 5 sacks, tied for 29th. Not great. And that's with both your guys that you're paying on the defensive end side to get them. They're both healthy and they're not producing, right? So yeah, defensively, I think that will actually come along. I think Dennis Allen is implementing it first year in his system. I don't know if he has all the guys that he needs to run whatever he wants to run. We're also missing 2 of our best cornerbacks, right, and a starting linebacker. So I expect that stuff will improve a little bit gradually. But offensively, we've had most of our horses. You know, Ben's just trying to figure out when to play Luther, when to play DJ. Colston's been in and out. You know, he got hurt and he should be coming back. The offensive line tackle rotation, right? He's figuring all that stuff out. I'm hoping that the bye week he was like, yep, I had 4 games to assess this. I know who's going to do what. Now that's how I'm going to build this offense now moving forward. I'm going to build to those guys, the skill sets and those plays.
Yeah, it's actually really cool to think about, like, yeah, spending this time, like you spend preseason doing whatever, like thinking about the pieces, but these first 4 games really do become like this is what it looks like when it's on the field, and now we have this kind
Yes.
of second half of the season, many games more, but like yeah, now let's really optimize it. Now let's see how we can really start to cook with understanding who it is that we got. That makes me like genuinely very excited to be able to see like the fine tuning of this collection of rascals.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Um,
Any final thoughts before we skip out of here?
no, looking forward to, well, we got another Sunday, a Bears list Sunday next week. We got to wait a
Yeah.
whole nother day for Monday night to roll around. So we'll probably record this on Tuesday then after the Monday game. So
Yeah.
this will probably come out later, late Tuesday or Wednesday or
Yeah,
something.
probably late Tuesday night, I would
All
think.
right.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. Where can people find you per usual? All that good stuff.
Yeah. On tapsportsnet.com. You can find me on there. Sometimes I run the Bears at Bears on Tap X account. Otherwise, my own personal X account is SMPatel06. You can find all my stuff there.
Hell yeah. And if anyone is in Chicago, Tuesday, October 14th, I'm going to be doing an improv show at the Bug House Theater at 7 p.m. So if you're in Chicago, October 14th, the Bug House Theater, 7 p.m., come say what's up and watch me do some
Okay.
improv.
Wonderful.
For Samir Patel, I'm Chirag Rathod. We are the Bears in the Neighborhood, your weekly insight into the Chicago Bears in under 30 minutes, and we will catch you all next week.
I hope you enjoyed the bye, Saskatchewan.